Good Erev Shabbos to all. Thank you so much for joining as we gather each Friday afternoon and try to collectively get ready for Shabbos, to turn Friday into Erev Shabbos. It's not just another day of the week. It's a special day of the week. It's not just Friday. It's Erev Shabbos. It's an entirely different way to experience our day. It's a different way to enter the Shabbos. From the chaos, the hustle, the bustle, the transition into the serenity of Shabbos, from already experiencing Shabbos on Friday. In fact, we have a concept, a notion we're not going to get into today. We'll talk about more another time. Something called Tosa Shabbos, the idea that we don't wait for Shabbos to happen to us. This is a precedent in Halacha. In the Smichas Chaver program, we've been learning about Tosa Shabbos, some of the lumdus, the analytical understanding of this time period, as well as some of its laws, how we accept Shabbos even before it descends upon us. Shabbos happens whether you're ready or not. When the sun sets, Shabbos begins. Ready or not, here it comes. However, instead of waiting for Shabbos to greet us, we can greet it. Tosefes Shabbos, the Mishnah Berurah paskins, Tosefes Shabbos is a din d'oraisa. There's a biblical commandment and a biblical fulfillment by greeting Shabbos instead of waiting for Shabbos to greet us. And that's really what we do. Whether you're making the plag, the early Shabbos, or the Zman, the late Shabbos, or something in between, when we get together at 6 o'clock on Fridays, we are together, not formally accepting Shabbos. Certainly we couldn't do it this way over technology, but we are beginning to feel the energy, to draw the excitement and the enthusiasm, to be able to imbue and inject our homes with that atmosphere that's already filled with the sights and the sounds and the smells and the flavors and the appearance of set Shabbos table, but also our learning about Shabbos gets us ready. Why is there such an emphasis on Shabbos? So almost every week I come across something that connects our Parsha to the idea of the excitement of the Shabbos that we are experiencing, and this week is no different. The Parsha Behaloscha, I'm going to connect it to both the Parsha we're reading in America and the Parsha we're reading in Israel this week, although I hope nobody from Israel is tuning in right now. And we're preparing for next week in America or in Chutz La'aretz, the Parsha Shlach, and really hopefully something that applies each and every year, not necessarily connected to our Parsha. Parsha tells us, Amul Pnei HaMenorah Ya'iru Shivas HaNeiros. The menorah, the candelabra in the Mishkan, later in the Beis HaMikdash, was lit by the Kohanim, by Aaron and his sons, his progeny, and they were instructed that the 7 branches of the candelabra, 6 of the branches pointed in, 3 on one side, 3 on the other side, and the middle branch that stood upright was the centerpiece. The 6 other branches leaned, they tilted, they were directed towards that middle branch. El mul pnei menorah ya'iru shivas haneros. So the Svarim HaKadoshim, the Sfas Emes, the Shem Mishmuel, the Ger Rebbe, the Sochatchev Rebbe, the Pri Tzaddik of Tzaddik HaKohen of Lublin, all of them interpret the menorah as being a symbol. What does it mean that there are 6 branches, 3 before and 3 after, that all lean to the central branch? That means that the central branch is an allusion to Shabbos. And the 3 branches that lean from one direction are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And the 3 branches that lean from the other direction are Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. The 6 days of the week are all oriented towards the central branch, towards Shabbos. It means for a Jew, our entire life revolves literally around Shabbos. We're either getting ready, we're anticipating, we're preparing for Shabbos, or we are still basking in the glory. We're still impacted by the inspiration. We're still coming off the high. We're still carrying and capturing with us what we achieved that previous Shabbos. Shabbos is not just any other day of the week. And Shabbos was not instituted as a day of rest because somehow, unless you ever turn your computer, your phone off, it's going to burn out. You're going to destroy the battery. It's not simply that we would destroy the battery if we go 7 straight days a week. It's that our entire lives, it's the tachlis masa bereshis. It's the essence. It's the goal. It's what our lives are all directed to. Wednesday, we already say in the Shir Shel Yom at the end of davening, L'chu Naranana. Wednesday, we already greet one another. Have a good Erev Shabbos. Wednesday is not Wednesday. Wednesday is not hump day. Wednesday is not the middle of the week. Wednesday is already Erev Shabbos for a Jew. L'chu Naranana. We're shopping for Shabbos. We're putting together our menu for Shabbos. In normal times, please God, we'll get to them again soon. We're coming up with our guest list for Shabbos. Wednesday is not just an ordinary day. Wednesday is already Erev Shabbos, and certainly all the more so are Thursday and Friday. And Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday are not, thank God, Shabbos is behind me. I can go back to the weekday in my technology. Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, I'm still connected. How do I know that? The halacha tells me. A person who didn't make Havdalah on Motzei Shabbos, a person who, for whatever reason, somebody last week was in the hospital over Shabbos, had several questions before Shabbos, after Shabbos. How do you make Havdalah? A person is debilitated, a person is unable to, unconscious, a person is traveling, whatever the circumstances, a person is unable to make Havdalah on Motzei Shabbos. How long do you have halachically to make Havdalah? Until when can you make Havdalah? So halacha says until Tuesday. Tuesday is still part of the previous Shabbos. Come Wednesday, l'chun ranana. Come Wednesday, it's already Erev the next Shabbos. So from Sunday to Tuesday, have the Bechina, have the status, the identity, have the energy that we're still basking in from the previous Shabbos. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are already Erev Shabbos. So you see the three branches of the candelabra before point to Shabbos, and the three branches of the candelabra after Shabbos point back at Shabbos. So the menorah, when you looked at the menorah, you were looking at a Jew, a Ben Torah orientation to the week. You were looking at a visual orientation of how the week should be structured. Three branches toward Shabbos, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and three branches still drawing from Shabbos, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You can still say Havdalah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, L'chun Ranana. You're already greeting one another Erev Shabbos. And what's what it means to be a Shomer Shabbos. To be a Shomer Shabbos is to anticipate Shabbos, to long for Shabbos, to look for Shabbos. The Aptarov, the Ohev Yisrael, Rav Am Yeshua Heschel, and others say that the word Shomer Shabbos doesn't mean to observe Shabbos once Shabbos arrives. Like the Aptarov, the Ohev Yisrael, sends us to the pasuk Ve'aviv Shamaras Hadavar. When Yosef was alienated from Yaakov, when Yaakov was longing, he was inconsolable, he was unwilling to give up on his son Yosef, the pasuk says Ve'aviv Shamaras Hadavar, that Yaakov was holding on, Shamar Sadavar. So what does the word Shamar mean? Says the Aptarov, Shamar doesn't mean to observe Shabbos. Shamar means to look, to anticipate with excitement, with enthusiasm, with a sense of a countdown. So when is a Jew a Shomer Shabbos? Not when the sun goes down on Friday. You become a Shomer Shabbos starting on Wednesday. When you say L'chun Ranan, it's Erev Shabbos. You're a Shomer Shabbos when Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, you're still repeating. Did you hear the incredible Vort? Let me tell you the amazing songs we sang. Let me tell you the kind of Shabbos. Let me tell you the conversation at our Shabbos table. Let me tell you, why do you look so happy? Why are you walking on cloud nine? Because let me tell you about my Shabbos. For us, the entire week revolves around Shabbos, not as a coping mechanism. For Jews for century millennia, the reality of life was so harsh that a person wanted to escape in the cocoon, the refuge of Shabbos. Shabbos is not a coping mechanism. Shabbos is tachlas masa bereshis. As we've said so many times already, it's not that I rest on Shabbos so that I can get back to going to work the rest of the week. I work the whole week so that I could earn and experience Shabbos. That's why I'm doing it. Why do I work so hard to earn money? In order to be able to enjoy my Shabbos. Why am I spending so much time with my children and invested in their Jewish ideals and values and lifestyle and identity so we could be together for Shabbos? It's not that Shabbos I get to shluff so that I have what it takes to get back to work for the week. I worked that whole week, so I have what it takes to fully immerse myself and experience Shabbos. And that's the connection to next week's Parsha. Because there's an amazing medrash in Parsha Shlach. The end of next week's Parsha, we have the story of the tzitzis. Men are obligated in the mitzvah of tzitzis. In fact, just last week, a woman asked me, what are those strings hanging out? She said, I've seen a bunch of people who have them, and I was talking to my girlfriend about them. She says, I'm Catholic. What are those strings? I said, where did you see people with them? We're in the middle of a pandemic. She said, at the Publix. Publix is the supermarket in South Florida. She said, in my Publix, I see a bunch of men. It's good to know. In Boca, the men do the shopping, and she sees a bunch of men, I'm sure, with masks on their face and distancing and with tzitzis hanging out of their pants. She said, what are those strings? I said, you know how people tie a string around their finger when they want to remember something important? We have strings coming out of our clothing in order to remember the thing that's most important, who we are and how we're meant to behave and to whom we answer. And hopefully to give us the mindfulness, therefore, to live the best versions of ourselves, the lives we're meant to live. But there's an amazing medrash, Bamidbar Rabbah, the medrash Rabbah, next week's Parsha, at the end of Shlach, tells us the following. It gives us a description of an individual who's cast into the sea, and they are flailing their arms, and they're trying to float, and they're trying to survive. The captain of the ship, this person fell overboard, throws a rope and says, grab onto the rope. And as long as you hold the life preserver, as long as you hold on to the rope, you'll have life. You're making contact with life. If you let go, then you're going to die. So Slonim Rebbe attaches, and he says, true, that medrash specifically is talking about about tzitzis and the mitzvah of tzitzis, that when we hold on, not literally, but figuratively, we hold on to the tzitzis, what they're meant to remind us, they elevate us and they transform us, and the tzitzis play the role they're meant to, then we hold on to it, then we're able to survive even the turbulent waves, and even being cast to sea, and even the harsh winds, and even the things that try to force us under and drown us to make us suffocate and give up. When you hold on, then you're able to survive. You're able to gasp for air. You're able to be able to resist, and you're able to carry on. And the Slonim Rebbe applies the medrash from Parsha Shlach about tzitzis to Shabbos Kodesh. It says all week long we're flailing our arms, and we're trying to float, and we're trying to survive, and we're gasping for air. And how true is it in our time where we're following the data and the information and the news and trying to make sense of it all and trying to anticipate when we'll come out of it all. And we're simply the wind and the turbulent storm and the waves. They're trying to push us under and make us drown and suffocate. And we hold on to that rope. That rope is called Shabbos. Shabbos lifts us, and Shabbos enables us to survive. Torah, Shabbos are an Eitz Chaim. They're a living tree. They're the life preserver. If we hold on to it, we can rise up. And he quotes from the Divrei Shmuel, and we'll end with this, a beautiful insight and an expansion of that metaphor, of that mashal by the Divrei Shmuel. He says, example of Adam, he says an individual who's walking through, they get stuck in the rain. I hear the weather in New York is magnificent. The weather in Florida is incredibly hot. We've had several downpours. We don't mind them. We're trying to refill the Kalim mikvah, but we wish they would come at night while we were sleeping. Rashi quotes Chazal, that's the best bracha, when the rain comes at night while we're sleeping. Imagine a person is walking, they get caught in a torrential downpour. In Florida, one moment it could be a sunny, clear sky. You go for your walk, and a minute later, literally a moment's notice, all of a sudden the sky turns black, a torrential downpour, and the person is soaked from head to toe, and they're walking and they're drenched, and they now weigh 1,000,000 pounds, their clothing, their shoes, and they're hungry and they're tired. And he doesn't know, how am I going to survive, and where am I going to go, and will I ever dry out? And all of a sudden they raise their eyes and they see, wow, there's a place for me to stay. Wow, there's a warm place. Pshuto kimashmo. It's warm in temperature, and it's warm in terms of its people. Nichnas penimo upashit begadav haratuvim lash begadim nikiyim va'achal v'shasa v'schamim ad kehishiv nafsho. And you enter that warm and generous, hospitable place. And you eat and drink, and you change your clothing, and you spread it out to dry. And now you sip that hot coffee, that hot cocoa, the tea, your clothing is drying out, you're wearing something warm, and you snuggle up next to the fire, and the person gives you a warm word, and you fill your belly, and you chap a shluf, and you wake up with this energy, I'm ready to go on. Shabbos kodas yach san yasher yona matzah b'manoach, v'sham yanuchu yigie koach, mikol hadaigos v'hayisurin. Shabbos is the place that the Yonah found menucha, and we find menucha. Sham yanuchu yigie koach. Those who've run out of strength, they've run out of energy. I don't know, are you not battling all week long? How we earn my living, and how do I make sense of this data, and what's going to be, and what will my children do? The governor of New York just announced there'll be no sleepaway camps in the state of New York this summer, and a lot of people just had a wrench thrown in their plans, or this was the final nail in the coffin of their summer. What will be all week long filled with such anxiety and worry and uncertainty? We're thrown about, and then we enter Shabbos as the achsanya. Shabbos is that resort stay. Shabbos is the four seasons. Shabbos is the Ritz-Carlton of life, of time, that we enter it, and it's luxury, and we're waited on hand and foot, and everything is so perfect, and the customer service is amazing, and we immerse ourselves in it to draw that energy and that hope and that optimism to come out. Sham yanuchu yigie koach. When you sing this zemer tonight, when you sing Yona Matzah, Sham Yanuchu, tomorrow, Sham Yanuchu, there those who want to rest, there those who are tired will rest. Mikol Daigos Vayisurin, from all the worry, from the things that exhaust us, the things that cause us to lose our sense of hope. So, tilt your candelabra. Carry on with Shabbos, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You can still make Havdalah. We're still connected. Experience the kind of Shabbos that will stay with you. You ever text someone or speak to them the day or two after they've made a simcha? And you know what they tell you? I'm still on cloud 9. I'm still looking at the videos of the pictures. I still can't believe I experienced that. I'm still living the wedding. I'm still living the bar mitzvah. I'm still living the bris. 2-3 days, weeks later, they're still living it. That's what it means, the three arms of the menorah. that come after Shabbos are tilted toward Shabbos. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the three arms of the menorah that come before Shabbos are tilted toward Shabbos with anticipation. V'aviv shamaris hadavar. To truly be, we should be zocha, to truly be shomrei Shabbos, to keep Shabbos, not just on Shabbos, strictly the 39 malachas, but to keep Shabbos all week long in our anticipation and our excitement. And certainly all of you who've joined us, Erev Shabbos, 6 o'clock, a crazy time, whatever Shabbos you're making, it's inconvenient. And nevertheless, here we are, a group of Jews who are thirsty and longing, who have an appetite for Shabbos, wishing everyone a happy, healthy, and a holy Shabbos.